Dire team ban. Fnatic's turn to pick.
Alright guys, hello and welcome to the Boston Made Southeast Asian qualifiers, and down to halfway throughout the day, maybe less than that, as we have about 4 games left to go. For people that are wondering where is Cyclops, he is taking a break for the rest of the day as he is assigned to cast half of our bracket and I'm assigned to cast of the half. So he's going to rest up, he's going to come back tomorrow fresh as ever. But for now, we're going to be going into this series. The best of RRQ versus Fnatic. They are drafting really. Before we go into the draft, let's take a look at the standings of this so far. So looking at the standings, it looks like RRQ fortunately have lost all of their games today. They have played 2 games coming up into. Whereas the Fnatic, I believe, have played 3 games and they have won all of those games. So Fnatic have beaten Signature Trust, the Mongols, and whereas RRQ, they have just finished playing up against Fire Dragoon Warriors Gaming Unities. So RRQ not going to be happy as they're very strong in the standings. They may still turn it around tomorrow, but the odds of their bracket or the entire Southeast Asia bracket, it's really not looking too. So aside from that, currently being picked and banned, so Batrider as well as Warlock being banned out by RRQ, whereas for Fnatic they get rid of the Nyx Assassin and the Ogre Magi. And for RRQ, they ban out the Warlock and the Batrider just because Fnatic, they loved running far. Fnatic have been picking up Warlock and as well as Batrider. It's been working out for them so well. The statistics on this Warlock, I believe, are insane. I was looking at Fnatic's stats with this, and take a look at this, guys. So Fnatic, they currently have a 57% win percentage for that Warlock. Their Batrider win is 75. So this makes sense. RRQ is getting rid of these heroes because Fnatic, these are comfort heroes. They're ready to do thing with this Warlock and Batrider selection. Fortunately, not going to see it. And they get rid of the Nyx as well as Ogre. Ogre is very, very popular support. Great rumor, whereas for Nyx, I'm actually a bit surprised about this Nyx ban. I guess RRQ thing. Fnatic, they do run the Nyx themselves, but that doesn't really seem to be for them because they banned it out. Now for RRQ, they're going to be opening up with Juggernaut as well as Slardar picks. And Slardar is also another hero that Fnatic likes to run, so unfortunately that is not going to be available for them. Instead, grabbing up the Beastmaster for Ohio, so it's still going to be a comf pick here for Ohio in this. Not really the well that he can't play the Slardar, which for RRQ, they're looking for. Want to have the Juggernaut working with the Slardar with 5 damage, so boost his attack and possibly look to roam a little bit earlier than you. Bonus when you have a Slardar with any heroes that typically do a lot of physical damage. If you're running the Slardar, that means that you're not going to be able to fight actively with the team. Pushes because of the healing ward. And it just makes them a bigger threat than normally would. And also, it's not just the Jug. They pick something such as a Puck in the middle lane. Puck, who doesn't necessarily hit the hardest, able to get the extra boost coming out from the Slardar mine. So you can tell RRQ they've got something in the bag waiting to pull it out for Fnatic. Take a look at our Malaysian squad. Beastmaster and they have the Glimpse, you've got the long range Master Raw, you've got the Hawk for Vision. I can already tell that Fnatic, they want to control this game Vision, and this Raw is going to be so great for down the Jug as well, just because they're relying on the spin to just go for escape. Possible if Ohio is some jungle, whereas with the Disruptor pickup, the Silence is able to land that Silence onto the Oracle, who throwing it on top of the Slardar. It renders those 2 heroes useless. Same with the Jug, assuming he has spun before the Static Storm gets thrown down. So it just looks like Fnatic, they really want to go heavy into that sort of roam and vision to catch RRQ off guard as much as possible. Whereas for RRQ, they want to fight. They've got the Oracle who have access to the False Promise, meaning that they're going to be fight for longer, harder, have scalability with Juggernaut pick. Vengeful Spirit going to be the second support pickup here for Fnatic, so already you can tell that Fnatic, they want to have that backup insurance in case someone gets and there may be a hint here that Drow Ranger could be up. This hero has been very, very popular. She hasn't been banned yet, might still be early, but she could be something that Fnatic could be looking to, just because Vengeful Spirit and Drow, two heroes that work very well, and there we go, Drow Ranger pickup for Fnatic. I was also going to Disruptor is also a great hero to send back any from RRQ that could be looking onto jumping on top of Drow. Because Drow, her biggest weakness, having anyone has some sort of way to get to her, so things such as Slarks, Spartans, any sort of initiation on top of the Drow, that's when the Disruptor. And also, I think something else we forgot to mention was that you're looking at a lot of auras coming out from Fnatic now. Beastmaster aura, you've got the Vengeful Spirit aura, and now you have the Drow Ranger that's going to be giving that passive ranged attack to just the Venge, but Disruptor and possibly this. So you can tell that Fnatic should be hitting incredibly hard early on. Got decent lane to Master who's going to be sufficient on his own, and okay, so it looks like for Fnatic, they're going to go back for this Medusa pick. I guess we forgot to mention Mushi in the drafting seat. Mushi himself, he loves to run this Medusa. Why they play the Medusa is that they fight with Stone Gaze, run at the enemy with the Stone Gaze. Fnatic, they've got the chase. They're going to be able to punish RRQ phase where they're going to try to run, so that's why the roars, the stuns, so handy for Fnatic to chase down RRQ. And looking at the Indian squad, they don't really have the best heroes during the Stone Gaze, but after the Stone Gaze, they have a lot of possibilities to punish Fnatic because their draft is rather squishy. Once that initial Fnatic has been thrown out, I'm pretty sure that's going to be it for Fnatic, and they'll be the ones on the run instead of RRQ. For an Indonesian squad, we expect a lot from him to sort of open these lanes up for the Slaughter to help bid for RRQ to at least put some pressure on this Medusa, who's most probably going to be going mid here for Fnatic, unless they put the Drow Ranger mid. I will assume it's going to be also mid, just because she that plays that. And the last pick for RRQ, it's going to so they are going to be providing Empower to the Juggernaut. They will also have access to RP as well, which is a great spell. Getting those heroes together for the follow-up, which is coming out from our Slaughter with the Crush, the Juggernauts. Lots of team fight for RRQ, but the disengage could be something a little bit wrong. But again, it's Fnatic going to be a bit of a squishy draft where for RRQ, punch. They can still be punished if they're caught off guard. So guys, we are going to best of one between RRQ Asian qualifiers. Fnatic, they have won 3 of the far, whereas for RRQ, they have lost pretty much all of their games so far, and I'm going to be honest, they are definitely not the favorite. But, oh dear. Oh, I'm not disconnected. Oh. Server. What a start to the... But for guys that are just tuned in, welcome. My name is Daniel Lee. I'll be your solely English caster for this. The next game after this, I'll be joined by 3 player from Fnatic who is going to be trying his hand at casting. So if you want to stick around to see 343 try his hand at casting, be my guest, and also provide some feedback for him as well, because he does want a caster, and any sort of feedback, it will definitely help him as well as myself out as well. Take a look at what's as looks like EU thinking there was a bounty hunter nearby. Not gonna be popping it into the right target, but Zephyr will be going up through the river now. Fortunately, they don't have any detection left. He's already actually no, he's got a sword on him. But they don't really have the best heroes to chase.
30 seconds to battle.
So it looks like the bounty hunter is going to be able to get out scot-free. do a quick team intro as well. On Dire squad coming in from Indonesia, we have Regum Qeon, I believe that you pronounce it. And let's start with Koalamon, who has the going into the off lane, but is running at least the mid block here. Unless it's the Magnus off. Doesn't really seem to be the case. Yabiu's in a position to at least pick up items to be running in that mid. So we have Koalamon, aka Koala, going into the top lane. We have Kel'Thuzad on our Juggernaut. Also have Varish, who's going to be supporting him on the Oracle, alongside Zephyr, the roaming bounty hunter. And we already did Koalamon, so I believe. Nope, we got everyone. That's going to be Rex Regum. On the side of Fnatic, we have Ohio on the offlane Beastmaster. In the middle lane, we have Mushi. And bottom lane, we have Demon on our Disruptor, Raven on our Drow Ranger, and finally we have our roaming Vengeful Spirit. It seems up top. Ohio looks like he was in a bit of trouble, but they unfortunately cancel that TP, so he's going to be able to walk home free for now. Well, Ohio, he's rather good in this lane. Has access to this observer that's providing him a lot of vision here, but he also is going to have the boar, which is able to provide a slow, and Beastmaster's being naturally the easiest hero to kill off. So Varish will be putting down some sentries. One ward gets taken down, the other sentry will be able to spot them out the moment someone gets into range, and Zephyr's going to be able to spot that out for his teammate. So looking in the middle lane, Yabiu going up against. So it looks like Mushi is a little bit low. He has opted to take 1 mana shield. So he is looking to pressure Yabiu out with the Snake. A lot of people underestimate Snake just because, especially against heroes that have low mana pools, mana pools, assuming that the Snake comes out towards one of the last hits. So for Yabiu, not have the best. Also, range matchup. So Mushi is going to get free harassment off, knowing that Yabiu is not really going to be able to touch him. Looks like this bottom is going to be abandoned. Just to go back to the fountain quicker. But yeah, bottom looks like it's going to be abandoned as the bounty is going to be soaking up XP here. So that is going to guarantee him levels, but it looks like the courier may be in trouble as there's a hasted E. He's looking to grab it. He backed up a little. Courier does finally go down, but Koalamon is here. Yabiu, you just gonna dance. Very happy with that grab, and they're gonna be looking for a Zephyr. Could be in a lot of trouble. There should be detection here on the Venge. Just a sentry ward, but that ward may just take out this little bounty hunter. A little bit surprised that they're not roaming with Zephyr, but this is guaranteeing easy levels, and it looks like he will spot out EU as he puts a observer ward on the top lane. At least EU's going to try and run away, but look at Zephyr. He's got the Orb of Venom, so it is slowing down EU, doing some decent damage, but he will be sent back as there is a glimpse. He just puts 2 points into glimpse, and they may just be able to kill him off. EU goes.
First blood. Pay off. My Fleet Strider's tracks run red.
But even amazing play, holding on to the 2 points. Happens, and he puts them both into great coordination out from Fnatic to secure that first one. Looks like we're going to have a bottle refill here from our Magnus as Zephyr TPs. This is going to help you a little bit as consider the CS. Not really. Yabiu. There we go. There's the Snake. Already down to 1/3 of his hate. Not going to be an easy one as that Magnus. And as I said, this difference quite big over Yabiu in terms of CS. This is a Musa. So RRQ, they make sacrifices. They know the Magnus is not going to win lane unless he has help. So they're saying we're willing to sacrifice those levels, but we'll when he gets that blink. Fortunately, that blink is not going to come online anytime. So let's take a look at the situation here with Ohio. Just quietly sitting in the jungle, and it looks like our poor bounty been spotted again, and deep tier glimpses up already, and they might not even have to be slowed down by the boar. They're going to give the kill to the supports, and that's that demon. A nice little chunk of gold on top of the second kill of the game. And for Zephyr, he's had a pretty hard time on that. Just no matter where he goes, there's always detected, there's always glimpses that are really, really tough. That even gets dewatered too. Bottom lane being heavily pushed with the help of Ohio. They've TP'd in Zephyr, but Zephyr's no way in hell am I going into that mess. So this tower's going to be going away, unfortunately. Take a look at RRQ. They're going to try and make a trade. They send Kel'Thuzad as well as Barish down into that bottom, into the top lane. Not really going to be. They do TP Ohio up top by himself, but Koalamon's here. But are going to be helping this top lane out. That looks like it might just be going down for and more. They have advantage coming on. For the TP to come on through from Fnatic, they will contest this. They've got a lot of free heroes. They are pretty much ready to go. So here comes another team. This is going to be Mushi this time. They're onto the bench, but EU done. But the nighttime, unable to get into range. They burst and RRQ. They leave with no casualties, but they were looking. Zephyr still roaming around trying to find out where everyone is, and Demon actually gets the successful. Fortunately, they don't really have out onto the bounty hunt. So I think at this point Zephyr's just gonna soak up this EXP from Regum. Free EXP, roam around, see what he can do. Maybe go into the mid lane. He has 2 wards on him, but how about putting him down? He will put 1 down, so provide his team a little bit of vision. So a pause comes on through Fnatic, so looks like we have a couple of maybe problem toilet break. Players haven't played. Be expected as the day progresses. Teams need a bit of a break or a drink, or maybe if you're staying at home by of us are in the Fnatic houses, just we all would like to. So and looking at CS so far, you've got our Drow Ranger happy as can. Here's a clam. 1 CS with the Juggernaut closing in with 48. Here's CS, but so has Drow. RQ, they're gonna have to address these issues. You're having a Drow and a she's gonna get damage based on how well the Drow is doing. The Drow is doing amazing. He's gonna be doing amazing because it's getting already 20 this early on. That's gonna be a problem as the game goes later and later. Let's take a look at net worth. We've got still our Drow and Juggernaut at the top. Magnus is closing in on 4th place with Mushi in 3rd. So Yabiyu's trying to close in for a Blink Dagger as soon as possible, but I'm a little bit that the fact of the matter here, both Yabi well as Koala want to act as tempo control. They're not really in the position to they're not really in a position to apply pressure this early. And I'm a bit worried for them. So I'm thinking about going on to higher, but that mana for the Omni side out for the most part. Koala farming in the jungle, but Demon's here and he has level 3 glimpse, and the range on this is absolute absurd. Koala's like, I know I'm going to be in trouble, but here comes Zephyr as well. They will go for the block here onto Koala, but Raven's in trouble. Minus armor. Looks like they may finish the job here as that goes for a beautiful turn from RRQ. TP in from Zephyr to help out Koala. Definitely working in their favor. And that's going to be 1 punishment for Fnatic. Getting a little bit over themselves. Not really sure where the bounty to. So Zephyr's going to be chasing Demon down as well. Get very close to that level 6 on the bounty. This is a crucial point in time for Zephyr. Earlier you get access to the track, the earlier your team's going to get bonus gold. And they roughly know where Zephyr is. But you might have other plans if you attack Koala. Koala's looking rather weak self as disrupting it by Zephyr. I just caught the glimpse of that, but here comes higher. And no mana gets down.
It's the nature of the beast.
So it's very nice that the bounty got that kill, as he was able to get level 6 with it, but dying afterwards in higher, a little bit scary. Did have an observer ward out, but really enough to save his life. He was just saying, I want this level 6, I'm gonna grab it. Probably gonna die with it as well. graphs really quickly to sort of see in what position everyone's in. RRQ, they're currently leading EXP, which is really them closing in towards a 3k EXP lead. This is still quite, how do I say this? I don't want to say tiltable because that's not a word, but this is definitely manageable for Fnatic. And turn this around. Whereas net worth, there was a lead, but I don't know, only 1k. This also is quite manageable for RRQ. They're going to be able to turn this around off the back of one team fight. Gold status for both sides. We have both Blink Dagger carriers for RRQ still working on big eye. Assuming that they don't die any soon and can get that guaranteed free farm, probably expecting roughly 14 to 15 daggers on both of these guys. Magnus will be the first one to grab it, I presume, just because he have access to that empower. So it looks like a bit of a group up here from Fnatic. Both the supports as well as Ohio, they're ready to look Bill, and Raw is always going to be off cooldown. Bill has insanely short cooldown, and I may have just jinxed Yabiu's daggers. They've got the support, they're backing up. Have to throw the static storm out to send them all back. Everyone on RRQ is going to be coming in the spray. He has the strength.
Are fortified.
What? But they knocked it. Yabiu, he gets the stun off before he gets the skewer, but the ult promises there. Tracy wants to reach on mana. The snake comes back. It will regen his mana again, but here comes Raven.
Into the black.
Fnatic gonna be whole ton of damage. Like I said, there's the chase. The glimpse gonna be securing them a third kill. RRQ still poised and ready to go, but because they lost their main leader in that fight, they won't do anything. So being Magnus the first drop, they're gonna be losing off of this as well. And look at the range damage coming out from everyone on the side of Fnatic. But oh god, that's a crazy amount. Even if Mushi has a sizable amount of damage because of the precision.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
So the dilemma that RRQ is currently facing, fight versus Fnatic, and Fnatic manages to maintain the majority of their draft, including the Drow. Towers are going. That is the dilemma here for RRQ. RRQ is currently in a position they need to win these fights, and they secure objectives off of. Because you take a look at the situation so far, they 1-1. Fnatic has taken bottom T1. They take it bottom T2, mid T1. And this is just off the fact that pushing on Fnatic is just so good because of this bonus damage coming out from Drow. Like I said, if the Venger's nearby, you've also got the Vengeful Spora. 6% damage. 36%. So for RRQ, they got to get their act together. The thing is, as we're seeing in the current gold, would have had his struggle a little bit earlier if he didn't die, but we're getting it very soon. So 13 minutes has been committed to farming, which is very good for him. Have to make something work. If they let this game go as is, they're going to have a very tough time coming back. And it looks like we missed a kill. It was on the Vengeful Spirit. Balthazar committed down. Mask of Madness onto him. So use a support, just a Juggernaut, but unfortunately that is a support kill. Grabbing a support kill that not really going to be progress through the game that much easily. Blink Dagger finally secured on the Magnus, and expecting RRQ to smoke up with Ag, and if they don't smoke with Yabiu, just the one to solo smoke the setup for his team. So after him, we're going to have to be looking for the Slardar to grab his Blink. One's practically almost got his as well. Looks like he wants to make sure that he gets this without dying. These two Blink Dagger online, this is a power spike for RRQ. They need to abuse the fact that they have access to all of this mobility and control. They need to kill Fnatic while they are rather vulnerable and manageable. Unfortunately, it might not be that easy, as got a 3-man smoke queue, Raven, Demon, and Ohio, and there is dust on both Ohio and Demon. Bounty on that way. Could be in a little bit of trouble, but that's going to be the case. They're going to be Fnatic slowly chewing on RRQ. Have no idea that this is happening. They're roaming around with Yab lane. They can't quite find anything. Roshan's actually chewing into the Fnatic because that anyone outside of Ohio that can tank that Roche, but it doesn't really matter. They do have Ohio's ball. That's going to be slowly working on that. Aegis gets picked up here by Fnatic. Big power spike here for Fnatic. So now have access to item in the Aegis, as well as the extra gold from Roshan as well. So EU hiding in the tree lines may have been spotted out by Zephyr and out soon. Oh, RRQ, they really want to look for someone. They're actually using some of their heroes as bait to try and get Yabu to get on them afterwards. They've had their blinks for a while, but nothing's really happening from RRQ. I'm a little bit concerned here. The blink dagger's up. You're running two heroes that are very reliant, and nothing's really happening. I suppose the thing is that they're worried about this agent not taking a lot of damage. False Promise gets out. The Oracle will sacrifice himself with the glimpse. Oh, push back the Disruptor, and oh, looks like it's going to be Kel'Thuzad out safe for now, as Yabu just gets caught on the end. And I think this might be Demon's Revenge, as Yabu trying to run into his own base. He will be healing ward from that jug. How far forward Fnatic is pushed up. Bounty Hunter in the backlines goes track here onto with a support Siren, the crush on the two. Go for the swap and no. Oh, that's going to be RRQ desperate, and because as it stands, their tower is dropping at an incredible rate. Double damage onto Mushi. 100 damage. It's like a divine rapier. Raven goes in the gut, spin and skewered in, but Aegis. Let Mushi having to go for a bit of a retreat as he had to trying to find something with Zephyr, but he wasn't able to find anyone. Kel'Thuzad losing and the ends negative by Demon and Raven. Oh, they are dying base, but now it's going to be Fnatic on the retreat as they weren't able to get their main objective. They will lose Steve. I believe he has a glimpse available. He may live, doesn't, unfortunately. Advantage here for RRQ was they lost the teeth. They are very lucky they did not lose it. They're this early on. They lost those Raxes. That will already be a heavy burden for the Juggernaut to carry. Yes, you're going to have, but it means that RRQ is going to be confined to that bottom for the majority of the until someone's going to be able to effectively clear that. And the Jug don't really want to go down that bottom lane too far up because you from Fnatic. They spot that Jug. None of them, they will be looking the moment they could spot him out. Let's take a look at the net worth really before we take a look at EXP. Interestingly enough, still in favor of RRQ, but this is still very close to the halfway mark. Teams looking relatively even. Whereas for net worth, slight advantage, 5k. It's slight because one team fight from RRQ will be able to turn the tides of this advantage. Fnatic still shouldn't be looking to get. They need to maintain their composure if they're going to be able to take this game in a relatively good fashion. And looks like someone might be dying in relatively good fashion. Careful, but Abby, you got the picture, and now they're safe.
Radiant's bottom tower.
RRQ, you're gonna just abandon this middle lane. There's really no point defending. Drew is just not in the best position to defend. Mushi TPing down bottom as everyone's on the retreat here for RRQ. They tried to go for a T1 zag, but the tower's just so darn healthy. And they really don't have anyone outside of the Jug and possibly the Magnus to push those towers down. Here is the item. Ready EU is looking to grabbing that mechanism practically completed. Drow, Raven is so good on this Drow. So farm, Dragonlance, Asher, 1.2k gold on top of that as well. And Ohio is looking to grab that Necro Book 3. Right now, recipe? Oh god, that is the Necro 3. The game. I don't see anyone outside of Kel'Thuzad on the Jug. Oh, this official. It would have to be spinning. Oh god, that would just do so much damage. So RRQ, gonna try and do the safest thing. Found their Juggernaut. Hope someone takes the bait, but Fnatic, they're not really interested in that Jug. They're saying, you can take that T1. We're gonna take the T2 instead. This T2 not going to be really long for this world unless there's some sort of defense here from RRQ, but the Indonesian squad, it's time to at least their pace with Fnatic. I'm sending a couple of heroes back. Vash well is throwing a scan down.
Top tower is under attack.
Actually, a scan coming out from Fnatic to see if anyone. Luckily for them, it's going to be all clear.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
They know
bottom
Kel'Thuzad's
tower is
down.
under attack.
Rest of RRQ is down here. They're going to send Mushi back and all.
Is under attack.
Getting some support. Looks like they had the clue. They had the clue. They cancelled the TP. That actually sends RRQ back. Whereas for Fnatic, they're all still up in the top lane. They have two teams up here. They've sent in both Koalamon as well as Zephyr. But Fnatic, they've already backed themselves. So Fnatic, they did the damage. Down to 1/3 left. And considering what's going on with the timer, we've got 2 minutes to figure out the definitive time for Roche. I wonder if it's going to be one of the earlier Roches or if it's going to be a later one. The earlier is, the better it is for Fnatic, but the later it could be a bit of a problem because take a look at what Kel'Thuzad has. He is starting to mount quite a bit of an inventory. His net worth, he is over Mushi in terms of... Kel'Thuzad has been considered farming non-stop this game.
Attack.
Power farm, and power farm, and power farm.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
This is just the product of him not really helping out the team. It is helping out his net worth. The main concern though is, can Kel'Thuzad carry his team? He's still going to help from his team, targets down, but that's going to be dishing out the most damage. He has to really synchronize with Thada as well. The amplify damages need to be crush stuns, the RPs.
Radiant's
Everything
bottom
goes to
tower
plan.
is under attack.
And I believe Kel'Thuzad is in a good spot to possibly solve it. The problem now is that Raven, he's got his Hurricane Pike, which is arguably items on the Trial Ranger, fight people. And that's the biggest weakness of any melee hero, fighting. It's going to be such a big problem. RRQ themselves, they had Disruptor, then the Hurricane Pike wouldn't be. Because they don't have the best chase. Makes this job a little bit more difficult for that Jug. Unless they can somehow get off in a couple of swipes, but I'm not too sure if that's possible. Guess it would be. Has a... I don't want to say low HP pool, this is quite high considering
Radiant structure
now, but
fortified.
she can still possibly get because of the minus armor and the damage coming from Powered Juggernaut.
Radiant's middle tower
T1 gets taken down. RRQ, they're banking on the fact that their Kel'Thuzad can act as a bait. And it's kind of working because Fnatic, they don't really want to RRQ head on. Fnatic, they do have some great disengage, but they want to be the ones to jump onto RRQ. Other way around. So the Malaysian squad, they played very smart up until RRQ. They've actually been coming up with some really smart plans themselves. And it's forced Fnatic into a position. They are still predominantly farming. This is a bad thing. I'm afraid this might just be the best bet here for RRQ. If Kel'Thuzad himself is unable to carry the game for his team, over. Because they are running a single core lineup up against stupidly strong cores on the side of Fnatic. Now and Medusa. Synergizing very well with each other. Looks like high ground's going to be attempted by Fnatic. They've got they back up. They've got one ward down. Maybe they're hoping someone goes onto the low ground to farm. Looks like it's just going to be them. Just pushing a little bit, feinting the... forcing RRQ back and then going back to farming. They may not have seen the smoke here, so Koala, he's looked for blood and here Drown's going for that damage and Kel'Thuzad's looking for him, forced that forward on this back. Completely melted and unfortunately no Roshan for another minute. Opportunity here for RRQ. They're giving something else, so EU's here with Demon and Ohio, but 4 of them, or 3 of them to say the least, they'd be sending EU saying, take me instead! Sacrifice themselves to the RRQ gods. They may have been able to get a little bit more if they decided heroes to chase, but I think at that point they were saying, we'll take your spirit for good. That's a good deal for me.
Under attack.
Look at item progression again, 24 minutes in, so we've got the Lincoln Sphere onto Mushi. He is going to be okay for a couple of these spells, not going to be an easy flash target. He happens to have popped by some RRQ. About RRQ, they have a couple of spells they don't mind wasting, but none with long range, so that it's safe to cancel. An amplified damage. That completed on EU. You've got the Hurricane Pike. You also have the Necronomicon 3 finished up onto Ohio. Abyssal, interestingly enough, is done on Calthazard. His first major item outside of that style. So it looks like a sort of RRQ solution to chase. Using the Abyssal Blade, lock down the target that way. Might just have to RRQ. They have sufficient lockdown. Obviously, more will not hurt. And also, it's going to tank up our Juggernaut as well. Help him out, but he may be in trouble though, assuming that Fnatic doesn't try to go for him. Sending the Hawk to the Roche Pit. Do they have the Necronomicon units? They have managed one odds, I believe. They're going to be going for a wraparound, or is this a Roche? It looks like it's going to be a wrap here. All of Fnatic going in for a back to RRQ. Now the bounty he the smoke seer if he's lucky. Always running towards the west, and they go for a stop. They get the out. Gonna be okay, and they have been revealed. And now Fnatic, they're going for a chaser onto RRQ. They will cancel out the blink here onto Koala, losing mana, and Calthazard looking to kill off this Necronomicon unit, taking damage. 200 gold. They will back off, but glimpse back. Like he gets stunned up as well. Higher. And here is that 4,000 crystals. W gets down as well. Oh boy. Just safe. D comes in with that level 4 glimpse. Weapon. This just opens up a free Roche for Fnatic. This whole game, RRQ themselves, they were the ones looking to open up a fight onto Fnatic. Outplayed, outjumped, and fortunately just disrespecting the fact that there is a disruptor on the field, especially with the Hawk on the map. Well, don't expect to be able to fight away, or at least juke any sort of vision, and whoever you're looking for is practically dead. I think the biggest mistake there was the Jug looking to go for the kill onto Con unit and committing the spin. Could have actually backed up a little bit, but stuck around, wanted to kill that off, and unfortunately getting punished because he has no magic left. So Rax is taken down, 26 game. Butterfly completed onto Mushi, as well as a Manta Style finished up onto Raven. Carries look really, really big right now. 7 damage for the whole team as well coming out. As Vengeful Spirit is hitting for practically 200 pop. This is armor reduction from the targets for EU. Well, and looking onto Demon, not as good, but better than would have gotten if just Demon. Fnatic got control of the map so far, whereas they're flying to their base, and really can't blame them. The moment they stick their head out, if Demon is anywhere nearby, just quick whip of his wand, glimpse back into. All of a sudden, you're going to be taken down by a roar. RRQ, they really don't have that many options available because they have a draft that's predominantly built on a team fight. You went for a Bagdus, you went for a Slaughter, 2 heroes that sell at team fight. They do to a certain degree excel with pickoffs, but with the position coming out from Fnatic, they really are not going together. Because Fnatic know that if they move together as a team, they are not easy off. So here we go. Grasp before the fights start. Huge net worth advantage, and the crush comes out, swap it well, and oh, Koala. Use the swap aggressively. Losing 1 initiator right off the bat, this just does not make the job easier here for RRQ. RP still available, into 1, they're gonna be onto Mushi, but the silence fire as well onto the BG call for RRQ. Fnatic. RRQ. Best of 1 series. Fnatic there in the Because for RRQ, unfortunately, so clean. They have lost 3 games in a row today. No victories for RRQ, whereas Fnatic, 4th victory today on their wonderful streaks. Guys, thank you so much for being our